Hi guys, my name is Dr. Anna Lyritz. I'm going to be your professor this semester for POLI 201. I've taught this class a few times now, and I've taught it a few times virtually, so hopefully this won't be too much of a challenge. I know not all of your classes are going to be virtual as of right now. Goodness knows what's going to happen in the next couple of months, so maybe we're ahead of the game already starting this online. Either way, I'm sorry that I'm not able to be with you in person, but hopefully everything will work out the way that it should. So a little bit about me. I have spent about, over a decade working in politics in Washington, D.C. My husband and I actually met working on Capitol Hill. So first of all, I graduated from the University of South Carolina and then went to law school, and I got a master's of law and government and then a master's of public administration. Went on to I was in DC kind of for part of that time, then came back and forth, clerked for a judge after law school, and then worked for an agency. I worked for the Department of Interior. I worked for a few different congressional committees and a few different member offices, both in the House and the Senate. And currently I am still working in the DC world. I'm a lobbyist. And most of my clients that I represent are states and localities. So mostly the good guys. I'm not representing anybody horrible, for now at least. But it's been a wild ride. It's been such a fun career, and hopefully, most of everything we will talk about this semester are things that I've actually done in my career. So hopefully that'll make things interesting for you guys. Our textbook, hopefully you guys already have it. If not, it's no big deal. You don't need it this week, but hopefully by next week you will have it. It's a little bit out of date, but that's okay. My job is to kind of bring you up to speed. Honestly, it'd be practically impossible to have a book about politics that was up to date because it literally changes every single minute. And that's part of what I do in my full-time job. I'm a lobbyist, and so I'm explaining what's happening in DC to other folks all the time anyway. So it's really cool that I get to explain that to you guys as well. So I have posted your syllabus on Blackboard. It's fairly straightforward. The chapter numbers may differ depending on which version of the book your class actually has. Most of your school administrators got a certain version of this textbook, but I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes there's a newer or older version out there, but the chapter numbers should be pretty much the same, or the chapter titles should be pretty much the same. So it should be easy to follow in the syllabus. The material is exactly the same. I've looked through a few of these. You will have 4 quizzes. You will have 3 exams, and then you will have a final essay due on the final day of class. The quizzes are, let me pull up my percentages here. The quizzes are 20% of your grade, the essay is 20% of your grade, and the exams are 60% of your grade. So there's three exams, so each of them are 20% of your grade. There's a little more detail in the syllabus if you have any more questions about that. But one important thing to note is if you are emailing me, which please email me anytime you have any questions about anything, please use my Gmail address. I know sometimes that's tricky for you guys on your school devices, but I think your school systems have been able to figure out a way around this in the past. It's annalyritz@gmail.com. By the way, Lyritz rhymes with pirates. Good way to remember how to say my name. Annalyritz@gmail.com. If you've emailed me on the other email address, I'm honestly not even sure where that goes. So please don't email me on the sc.edu or whatever that one is. Please email me on my Gmail address if you have questions. And always feel free to email me because I understand that we are not meeting in person. This is recorded video lectures. I know that's tough. So you have access to me anytime via email. I'll try to respond to you as quickly as I can. My husband and I moved back to the Columbia area just over 2 years ago. He is working in state politics, and I'm still working in the DC world, but here from Lexington. We have 3 little kids, 5, 3, and 18 months. And so hopefully they will not appear in any of these videos. That's my goal, is for them to not appear in any videos. But everybody's home all the time these days, right? So I'll do my best for you guys not to see them because I know it gets distracting, and I'm really sorry if they ever do appear, but I'll do my very, very best to keep them out of things. All right. What else am I forgetting? If you ever have any questions, obviously email me. I'm happy to respond to anything. Your schools have great staff in place. Oh, what I was going to say. So all of the lectures that I'm going to post will be hosted by YouTube. I post them all on Blackboard, but YouTube actually hosts my link. I think most of your schools have figured out a way around this. If you have a problem, let me know. I think everybody's been able to figure it out in the past. They've been able to like make an exception because I know sometimes YouTube gets blocked for you guys. But if you have a problem with that, let me know and we'll see if we can get it addressed as soon as possible because all of your lectures will be hosted that way. All right, let's dig into the material a little bit. I'm just going to give kind of a brief overview of what we're talking about. Hopefully can kind of give you some real life examples of what's going on throughout the semester and make things a little more interesting for you guys. I fell in love with politics when I was in high school, and that's driven my career and honestly my life. Like I met my husband at work in DC, and so hopefully can kind of spark an interest for you guys. We are obviously not meeting in person, but I'm going to do the best I can to keep you engaged. After most of these lectures, maybe not all, but most, I'm going to post in Blackboard under the assignments tab. I think that's where it's posted. You'll see where it is. I'll post like a question from that lecture that you need to answer, basically to just prove that you've watched it, and also kind of for us to get to know each other a little bit. It'll be something fairly simple, but, and it's not necessarily like a right or wrong answer. It's kind of what's your opinion about this? You know, what did you think about when I said this? So just be sure to listen. At the very end of every lecture, I will let you know what I'm posting as your question. And I'll go over there and kind of get to know you guys that way. All right. So today we're just going to talk about politics. Who gets what and how? That's how you define politics. Who gets what and how? So some of the things that we're going to try to learn to do is to describe how the role that maybe politics plays in determining how resources are distributed in our society. We're going to learn to compare different economic and political systems in terms of how it's distributed between citizens and government. This tension in the United States government between self-interested human nature and public-spirited government. When I taught this class last semester, it was right after the attacks on the Capitol happened. And so I had a lot of opinions about how to be a good citizen, basically. And I think we've seen a lot happen over the last 2 years in politics that really, it kind of changes the way you see politically involved individuals. And I want to make sure that we have our facts straight in this class. There are a lot of tensions in government and in politics, but we need to make sure we're looking at the facts. We're going to learn to analyze the role of immigration and what it takes to become a United States citizen. We'll describe the values that most citizens share and the political debates that drive partisan divisions in American politics. So first things first, kind of the book talks about what's called hashtag activism. You guys know about a hashtag, right? The book starts out talking about the Occupy movement, the We Are the 99%. I don't know if you guys even remember this, but it was like the one percenters, like the people who are really rich, that really attracted the We Are the 99%. We are not the top 1% of the country. Really attracted young Americans. The Black Lives Matter movement has met with numerous political candidates in the past. These are things that get young people's attention. Young people are notoriously uninvolved with politics. Do you guys, you maybe you're not. Maybe you're taking this class because you're super interested in politics, maybe not. But a lot of times young people think that politics are irrelevant to them. But when Obama was elected, actually a record number of young people turned out to the polls to elect Obama. The internet has really opened up a whole new realm of political action. Our founders of this country they were not really fans of mass movements or even political parties, right? But they knew engagement was necessary for a democracy to survive. George Washington actually warned against political parties in his farewell address. Obviously didn't work, right? What do you guys want to be when you grow up? Think about it for just a second. I'm sure everybody has a different answer that some of you maybe have similar answers, maybe very different answers. I asked my 3-year-old and she says she wants to be the president, and my 5-year-old and he says he wants to be a construction worker. My 1-year-old just says, yeah. But everybody has different things they want to say. But what do you really want to do? Do you want to own a home? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to make a difference? Live a safe and contented life? Yes, you may want to go to law school or be a construction worker or whatever things you may want to do, but the other things like owning a home, having a family, making a difference, these things can't happen without things like the military, student loans, favorable mortgage rates, safe streets, affordable and reliable public transportation, family leave. All of those things are products of politics. But who gets what and how? Politics is who gets what, when, and how. It's a process of determining power and resources and how they're distributed in a society without recourse to violence. Power is the ability to get other people to do what you want. The beauty of a democracy is that we all get to fight for what we want. Of course, we can't all win, and some folks have more resources that give them a leg up, but if we're paying attention and learn the rules of how things work, we can use those rules to increase the chances of getting what we want, maybe lower taxes, more pollution control, more aggressive foreign policy. Our founders created a great playing field for letting us all engage in this game. They crafted this just tremendous system that can generate compromise and stability that realizes freedom and prosperity for citizens, and that's super smart. It's because that we can't always get our own way that politics exists, but there are a lot of theories about how to manage power, who should have it, how it should be used, how it should be transferred. Violence is not a political tool. I know when I taught this class last semester, it was right after the attacks on the Capitol, and we had seen people trying to use violence as a political tool. But it's not, violence is a tool for people who do not want to compromise or do not care about deal making. Politics is. It's essential for living a civilized life. Rules can be thought of as the how and the who gets what and how. If politics was defined as who gets what, how, and where, then the where would be institutions, where government power comes from. We have a democracy here in the United States. There could be an all-powerful parliament, like they do in the United Kingdom, or a monarch, or both, or a committee of rulers. There are all sorts of different ways to think about power. And what I want you guys to do for your first assignment for me today, I'm going to post this on Blackboard so you'll see it. First of all, I want you to read your syllabus and email me if you have any questions. And then second of all, I want you, and again, I'm going to post this in your assignment, so you'll see this again. I want you to come up with a campaign slogan. Pretend you're running for president. And then list 3 or 4 priorities of things that you would want to do if you were elected president. What's important to you? What are things that you think are important that you would want and how you would accomplish it? So I want you to come up with a campaign slogan, list 3 or 4 priorities for what you would do so I can know what's important to you and how you plan to accomplish these things. I'm looking forward to reading these to get to know you guys a little bit and kind of see where your head is on some of these things. You can have a silly campaign slogan. You can have a serious campaign slogan. You can have something that rhymes. You can have something that doesn't rhyme, whatever you want to do. But I do want to know some of the issues that are important to you guys. So make sure and let me know those. All right, I'm going to go post that on Blackboard, and we do not have another lecture this week because it's a weird back to school week. My kindergartner starts school this week. Wow, I can't believe it. But we will come back next week, and let me just pull up our syllabus here. So this week, this is your only lecture. Next week, I'll have 2 lectures, the power and citizenship of American politics and the politics of American founding. So my goal each week is to post all of your lectures by Monday morning. You can watch them whenever you want to. You can watch them when you're supposed to have the class time. You can watch them late at night. It doesn't matter to me when you watch them, so long as you're caught up in time for us to have a quiz. And I'll let you know when we're going to have quizzes. This is a college class. I'm not going to babysit you guys. I'm not going to hold your hand, but this is a virtual world, and so I'm going to not be too tough on you guys just because I know it's weird to not be in person. But, it's up to you when and how you're going to watch these videos, and it's up to you to learn this content. So I'm not going to babysit you guys. I've just said that, but I trust you. You guys are big kids, right? You are grown-ups now. You know how to understand and take a college class. So email me if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks.